up. We
Mhm.
always wrap it up with our favorite matches. We'll start off with Wayne. Do you have any favorite matches that you would recommend for people to watch who want to revisit WrestleMania 6 but don't want to watch all 3 hours of it?
Yeah. Go back and watch Demolition versus the Colossal Connection. Only
Okay.
because this is the last televised match of Andre the Giant. And I feel like these are times you should, really treasure what matches you do have left with this giant.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't many people on this planet that left a mark like he did. And that were as large of a man as he is, or was. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good one. If you have 19 seconds, why not watch the Hart Foundation?
Right.
You know what? As much as as cringy as some of the match points were, Dusty Rhodes and Randy Savage, even if it's for the promos alone, the promos alone were great. I would also say if you're a big Shawn Michaels fan, watch that Rockers match just to see some early Shawn Michaels in there, and then the main event, the main event. If there's anything you could take away from this pay-per-view, it's the main event. Whenever I think about WrestleMania 6 in any way, shape, or form, that's the first match. That's what got me into I can remember myself as a little kid just watching it, oh my god, this is wrestling. I like the music. I like the crowd is pumped up. I don't know why, but I'm feeling it too. And that's when I became a certified mark, and that's when I started buying the Hulk Hogan shirts. Do you guys remember the big plush toys?
Those Wrestle
pillows?
Buddies.
Yeah, I had Wrestle Buddies. I had the Ultimate Warrior. I had Hulk Hogan. I had the wrestling sheets.
Look at
which,
you. Vince loved you.
Yeah, right? I spent so much money. My parents spent so much of their money. And as much as my parents didn't want me watching wrestling, it never stopped me.
Right.
We didn't have cable growing up, so I would always be going to other people's houses to watch wrestling. So it never stopped. The passion and love was always there, to the point where I would I really got deep into pro wrestling, Ruthless Aggression era. And I did watch Attitude Era when I could, but Ruthless Aggression was when I started to I'm never gonna miss a SmackDown or a Raw ever again. And since then, I don't think I ever have. As we're talking, SmackDown is going on, and when we get off, I'm gonna go watch SmackDown. I never miss a show. I never have, and I never will. I'll go back and watch, and I'll just because that's just the passion that I have, right? And that's when I had friends come up to me, was yo, you should just start a wrestling podcast, because that's all you talk about. Yeah, I do, right? So it's I start, and there's enough of us out there. There's enough fans. There's enough marks out there that I have a podcast now, and I bring people on like Carlos, and we just we have so much wrestling we want to talk about, and let's put it on a podcast. Let's just shoot the shit about wrestling. Right. Yeah, we have an agenda, but at the end of the day, it's you just want to sit there and talk wrestling with your buddies. It's
a lot of fun. Yeah,
and it is. And there's plenty of other sports that we as fans watch. I watch hockey and stuff, but football, hockey, basketball, baseball, ping pong, whatever. Pickleball, pickleball, whatever. They all have seasons, right?
Yeah.
And that goes away. That goes away for a couple months, and then you have to look up whoa, what are your athletes doing? This and that. Wrestling never dies. Wrestling is now, then, forever. It really is, because these wrestlers don't have really time off unless they get hurt, unless there's a way that they can get written off of TV. These guys are on the road 300 plus days a year. And, it's crazy to think that I watch, oh my God, between, you got Monday Night Raw, you got NXT on Tuesdays, you got AEW on Wednesdays, you got, if you're willing, God willing, you have Impact Wrestling on Thursdays, right? And then on Fridays, you have SmackDown, and then you have more AEW. And then Friday, Saturday, Sundays, if you can find maybe New Japan Wrestling,
or some lucha matches too.
Yeah,
Lucha Underground.
No, CMLL, Consejo Mundial Lucha Libre, has a YouTube channel that they stream on, I think, Saturday.
Yeah.
And then once in a while you'll get the triple A ones on
so
stream too.
You have all of that to do, and then pay-per-views, so it's like it literally is almost every day of the week. Like Thursday, because I don't really watch Impact Wrestling unless I'm trying to go to sleep. I use it to put me to sleep sometimes, but like other than that, like wrestling is on all the time in my house. So when the WWE app launched, it was like the greatest thing for me. It was like, oh my god, like $9.99, I can watch wrestling 24 hours a day. I can just leave it on TV and never turn it off. I can just leave it on in the kitchen TV and just never shut it off. It's great. And I hate Peacock. Let's face it. The way
commercials.
I get it. You sold it for lots of money, and I get it. It's Peacock, but like it's a lot of ads, and the way they have their library, like even finding this pay-per-view, you have to go into seasons and episodes. It was so weird. It's so rough. It's weird. Yeah. It's like a librarian who took over that's never been a librarian. The WWE app was so organized and it was so well put together. So this is even if you're looking to just watch like I don't know the best of Andre the Giant, they'll have now like you can just watch like the best of Andre the Giant matches. You can watch Ultimate Warrior documentaries. You can watch Hulk Hogan documentaries or. So yeah, the app, getting Peacock that's I only have Peacock for wrestling, and it's an app. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have it to the day I die. Like wherever WWE goes, I'll go. Until somebody else buys, or they get their app again. But that's where I'll be. So
yeah, when you start talking about your love of wrestling and like how many days it's on, or like I hear those hashtags like wrestling is life, stuff like that. I'm like, you're right, because since I've been watching, and I used to watch here and there when Carlos was watching, like you said, definitely watching all those different days and downloading the app. People ask, they're like, okay, so you're starting a podcast about wrestling, and it's just like there's so much to talk about. There's so many different storylines, so many different characters, there's history, and the history is rich with different generations. So that's why I'm like WrestleMania 6 was really good to watch. I was really looking forward to watching like this final match. And I feel like I'm on the same page as Wayne with a lot of your matches, where I definitely recommend those to people if they're interested in watching.
All of Wayne's matches? I think Wayne pointed out like 5.
I'm pretty much on par with most of the matches that he called out. My first one for anybody watching would be the Colossal Connection, of course. That was my favorite. Like you said, that short 17-second match. And then, of course, the finale with Hulk and the Ultimate Warrior.
All right.
What about you?
So I am also going to echo that you should watch the Colossal Connection versus... what is it? Demolition. Yeah. Just because of the psychology that goes with it, and bringing Andre back from the dark side back to the light side. On that, the Rockers versus what was that? I forgot. The Rockers tag team versus the Orient Express. Just because it's a fast-paced match. You get to see Shawn Michaels pretty much getting into his groove, kind of finding his type of style, and that he pretty much later adopts into his solo persona when he becomes the Heartbreak Kid. And then my other one, and that's going to be my last match, is going to be Dusty Rhodes versus the Macho Man. So those are my 3. So I continue my streak of recommending tag teams matches at a WrestleMania for our viewers to watch, and I think also a Macho Man. So that's all of those streaks continue since we've been doing this here.